So when people ask me what I do for work and I tell them I'm a DJ, they often look confused. They obviously have no idea how easy it is to DJ. I've always needed a creative outlet in life, something to distract from chaos or monotony. For a long time for me, that outlet was music. I was a guitarist as a teenager, but contracting a deadly disease at the age of 19 was to challenge my ability to enjoy that outlet. Both my legs were amputated below the knee and both of my arms at the elbow. The first time I truly began to get my head around how different my life was going to be was when I attempted ascending stairs. Without an ankle joint, this was not going to work the way it always had. The moment I realized that I could turn my body sideways and leverage myself up with my hip joint was the day I first learned to walk an entire flight of stairs with prosthetic legs. Now, as trivial as this realization may seem in retrospect, it was the first time I realized that from now on, I would have to approach every problem from a different angle. Relearning how to navigate the world in its most basic capacities is one thing. But what about more complex challenges? Nobody wants to simply exist or survive. We all have the urge to explore all that life has to offer. For me, that was regaining a creative outlet. I wasn't going to allow being an amputee to stop me from playing guitar. I just had to reimagine a different way to play guitar. Any apprehension or self-consciousness I previously harbored tended to pale in comparison to overcoming the challenge of playing guitar with prosthetic hooks. It truly allowed me to take music further than I ever had in the past. I began DJing in 2006. My first gig was to around 500 people in a dingy underground nightclub in Sydney. I'd never even touched decks before that night. Before we knew it, we were starting to be booked to DJ at other clubs around Sydney, then interstate and even internationally. That club night we started ended up being the longest running weekly club night in Sydney. And we as DJs played all the major music festivals in Australia, produced and released our own records, and even started our own record label. So sometimes problem solving requires persistence. But more often than not, what it really requires is to approach the problem from a different perspective. So the message behind my story is not the typical anything is possible trope, but more so that there are a variety of different paths to arriving at what is possible.